What's going on, everybody? What's good? Um, Sixers got blown out by the New York Knicks. I watched a good majority of the game. Maxie back after having a concussion and clearing the protocol. Um, his game was subpar. Sometimes his game is subpar. Um, I seen somebody's posting, ranting about Tobias Harris. The thing about Tobias Harris is you know what you get with Tobias Harris. He comes and he go. He's streaky. Um, you bring him off the bench. Like, who fault is that? The coach has to make that decision, you know what I mean? And, like, nobody jumps on Nick Nurse. I'm starting to notice that. Um, I'm starting to see that pattern where it's this honeymoon period with the coach that they bring in. Same thing would happen with Dot. Brett Brown, nobody questions anything for first couple of years that they coach. I'm questioning Nick Nurse right now. Like, Kelly Oubre Jr. is like your most best, gutsiest player on the court, and you bringing him off the bench. He's young. He can score. He drove the ball down the middle and just, it's got to be one of the top player of the week. He just jammed on Harkenstein. Like, Kelly Oubre game right now playing with the Sixers remind me of back when Charles Barkley first came into the league with the Sixers and Doc and them was playing soft. I mean, there's no other way to say it. But Charles was grabbing rebounds and jamming on people, like, because he felt like the Sixers had or wasn't getting no respect. And I could see Kelly Oubre Jr. playing the same way. He feels like, the Sixers is being disrespected. The thing that I don't want to see, because I realize now after all these years that I can be a fan of somebody and not be a fan of that team, but I could be a fan of the person that's on the team. I'm going to always be a Sixers fan. I'm going to always be a Sixers team fan. But I'm a Kelly Oubre fan. You know what I mean? And I know for a fact that Sixers don't know what they have in Kelly Oubre Jr. He's on a 1-year contract. It's a cheap contract that they getting unbelievable production out of him for the contract that he has. He's working hard to prove, I believe, to another team how invaluable he can be if you put him on that team. I could just imagine if he was with Milwaukee or Boston or Cavaliers or any team that it's reaching right now, even New York. The Sixers don't have no dogs. And once again, I stress Maxie. Maxie's not a killer. He's not. He's the Maxie thing frustrates me too, but that's another story. I mean, listen, people can be, people love Tyrese Maxey, and I do too. But I don't put more on Tyrese Maxey than he can handle, and I don't expect him. You can get a 40 game out of him, you can get a 30-minute game out of him. Sometimes you can get a game out of him where he takes control of the game and possibly be the difference making the outcome of winning the game. But it's not a night in and night out thing. He's not he's not, he's not, he's not that go-to guy every night. And I'm not saying that Kelly Oubre Jr. is that go-to guy, but I don't understand how Nick Nurse is bringing him off the bench. You get nothing in Mo Bamba. You get nothing from Mo Bamba. You get nothing from him. I looked on the bench. Council 4 now is spending more time on the bench, thanks to Nick Nurse. Um, they was down. He doesn't know how to inject or who to put in, inject a difference maker or a monkey wrench, as I would call it. Um, to Smith, you knew you wasn't gonna win that game. At a certain point in time in the fourth quarter, you knew you wasn't gonna win that game. So, like, once again, I stress in my previous videos, why you're not letting these young boys play. Well, guess what? Kenneth Lofton Jr. was signed to a 3-year, non-guaranteed contract with the Jazz. That means he's going to be playing. That means he's going to be playing in the playoffs if the Jazz make the playoffs. The other young buck, Baisley, that they brung up with a 10-day contract, the Jazz signed him, a 3-year, non-guaranteed contract. Danny Ainge down there just shaming the Philadelphia 76ers organization. But it's not hard to shame the Philadelphia 76ers organization. Like, they have no class. Like, I will stress over and over again, that organization has no class. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know who they bringing in. They don't know the talent. They don't recognize the talent. Like, they let Isaiah Joe go. And Isaiah Joe is down OKC balling. And you can check my postings and everything. I was like, please don't let Isaiah Joe go. The young buck got a shot. He got a good shot, right? Doc Rivers just don't like to play young boys, or he just don't like to utilize them. Brett Brown was the same way. You know what I mean? Now you got Taquavion Smith, and you're going to lose him. You're going to lose him. You know, the same way you lost Kenny Lofton Jr. He's had a hard time his entire time trying to play. And from college, he was the leading scorer on and led the USA basketball team in the FIBA Cup competition. But he doesn't have he's like Charles Barkley, a big baby, but he's swift, he agile on his feet, he hungry, and the Sixers didn't keep him. He was the G League's player of the year, and still the Sixers did not sign him. Right? They signed Doughton or whoever, Nick Nurse's man, used to play with Nick Nurse somewhere else, signed him. He's a smart decision maker. We need killers. You talk about decision makers. We need ballers. We need more ballers to be balling down there like Kelly Oubre Jr. We got Kyle Lowry, but Kyle Lowry is old. Kyle Lowry is old. Kyle Lowry, you could tell the frustration these guys is passing. They don't look at each other when they passing. The ball is hitting them in the hip, hitting them in the back, on the back of their arm. Man, they look so disorganized. And Nick Nurse doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, Tobias Harris comes and Tobias Harris has a bipolar basketball game. But it's not like you don't know he has that. So, and now they're talking about they waiting for Joel to come back, and I stress again, for what? For what? Like, what are you trying to play for? Oh, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to sell jerseys and apparel and tickets. You're trying to extend the season and sell tickets when you just don't want to admit that the season is over. It's been over.